was kind of the jacket you would expect on a homeless poor person, a very ugly jacket, kind of looking like ridiculously cowboy-like or hobo-like.
How long
Uh,
has she had that jacket?
I think she had it forever since we know each other, but it's not a jacket that she would wear in our relationship. It's a jacket that she had stored in our home, and she put it on at some point as part of her plan to leave and live on the streets or travel the way she wanted to.
Oh, so you like you're saying that you wouldn't have any pictures of her wearing that jacket, or like people wouldn't have seen her in that jacket during the time that you guys were dating?
No, I've never seen her wearing that jacket except the day she left.
Okay. Um, all right. So then she left. She took her phone with her when she left, right?
Yes.
And you guys were communicating throughout the day on June 17th, 18th, and 19th?
Maybe there was a day where we didn't communicate, but yes, I generally knew that she was okay during these 2 days.
Um, how did you generally know that she was okay? Were you calling each other? Were you
Well,
texting?
because, for example, I don't know if we have a texting on the 18th, but we certainly have a texting on the 19th, which means that she was okay on the 18th also, you know.
Can you show us your text, or can you send me the text? Because
No, this is something that's easily capturable by the police and that I couldn't possibly lie on. So I don't think I need to make my case to the public showing some very private conversation that includes private elements to it. I don't think I need this to convince anyone that this is true. The police is able to capture our text anytime they want.
there's like this thing that you could do on your phone where it blurs out all of the messages except for one. So, for instance, I text this loser named Amy, and I can like hide all of the text except for one and do this, and see like, hey, can you do that?
No, I'm not showing my phone.
Oh,
I
okay.
am.
All right. I'll stop. Sorry, like I'll stop
It is so
pressing.
ridiculous. It is so ridiculous as a request when even the police doesn't question this narrative. They know that they could know, and it's not even if I was blurring or not blurring. They could get those messages from the cell phone company. They could check whether I'm lying, and don't worry, they will. So no, I'm not going to show my cell phone to convince people on the internet. You guys cannot believe me if you want for months, and then eventually you'll realize that you were wrong. I really don't care.
No, it's such a difficult situation, and there's so many men who have been in a very similar situation where they were just loving partners to a woman, and the woman was either kidnapped or gone missing or just left, and the man was accused of some egregious crime. And then there's been other times when the man, because stats. But then I also listened to your interview last night with Andrew about your feeling on stats and about your feeling on how it's parasitic to think about crimes in terms of stats when each crime is an individual offense. So I have a lot of empathy for your situation. I'm surprised that you're not more emotional about it.
Well, welcome to my life. I'm one of the least emotional men on earth right now.
Why?
Like generally, I am a low emotion guy, what people call a low affect person. I am a rational mind. That is what makes me a great scientist. I have great contributions to do to the world thanks to that aspect of my mind. And on the other hand, I can stay with my head on my shoulder in emergency situations like the one we are in right now. Shouldn't we be thankful that there are people like me? I mean, you want someone like me to be your ambulance guy when you get a heart attack.
Yeah, absolutely. You seem very intelligent. You seem very calm, nerved. To be fair, I think some of the best nurses end up being serial killers, but so just because you might be the best at
More,
saving someone's life
more
doesn't
of
mean
that
that you're also not
probabilistic
a sociopath.
bigotry. I
No,
don't know
it's
what you
true.
think you
Like
can
for instance,
accomplish with this. It's not intelligent to do this. It's
no,
not
and
intelligent to
it
throw
is true.
accusations completely freely,
I'm
gratuitously.
not
I could
throwing
do the same
accusations.
accusation. I could come here and say there's lots of women who are crazy, so you're probably crazy too. But I don't do
Well,
it
I'm
because I
not
respect
throwing
you.
accusations. I'm just saying that I think it's funny because the characteristics that you're highlighting, calm nerves, which is good for stressful situations. It is true, but it doesn't also mean that you're not capable. But I mean, it means there's the human mind is interesting, and you would know this, right? You would probably know much, much, much better than me, as you are the doctorate in this, and I am the. I got a general education with some psychology, so I probably have a little bit less. Oh, anyway, so
Much less.
do you think let's just take a break. Let's do some super chats, and we'll come back. We'll check this out. Okay. Why would your wife abandon? Okay, why would your wife abandon her kids? I mean, I know you don't want to talk about kids, but can you at least acknowledge that that is a crime? Like, why would she commit a crime? So we don't have to talk. Let's not talk about the kids. But why would she be okay with committing some egregious crime that harms
No,
others?
listen, you're deluded. I
Oh,
don't.
okay. I'm not.
You
I'm really trying to be respectful. I'm not trying to be rude at all. But seriously, how am I deluded? Because I'm trying. It is a crime
because
to.
you're attributing crimes to things that you don't understand at all.
No,
You
no, no.
don't even meet a
Abandoning.
standard of prima facie case for a crime. It is
Thank
not a
you.
crime to travel. Is it a crime
What's
to go
prima
to LA?
facie?
Is it a crime to travel to LA?
Wait, hold on. What's prima facie? Could you explain
Yeah,
to me?
exactly. You know nothing. You're stupid. You are extremely stupid. It's like worse than
I
talking
just
to a
never heard.
monkey.
I've never heard the phrase prima
Yeah,
facie
because you
before.
don't know Latin and I don't have time to
Yeah.
teach you.
No, you're right. I'm so stupid. Anyway, it's hard being this dumb sometimes, but thank you for having the patience to talk to me. But I do know that it is a crime to abandon your kids. And Mama J seems like a really wonderful woman. And fuck, I triggered him that bad. He left. I was really trying. He rage quit. Okay.
You did great.
I tried my best, Amy.
You literally did nothing. There's nothing. You were being so respectful.
Was I? I was trying.
I mean, you pushed him a little bit more. Obviously, it's not going to be a play session. You did good, but I mean, you were not being rude. You were being offensive in any way.
I think he started getting nervous after the jacket question. I think that was like a good, I think he was pulling that out of his ass, kind of. I don't know. I think after that, the tone kind of shifted.
They were very valid things. He's being accused of killing his wife, and the traits that you listed are common.
Yeah.
It's a
psychopathy.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. Well, let's read the rest of the super chats. Why would your wife abandon her children? One of them is a newborn, according to your neighbors on Facebook. JF, do you think Mama JF or Andy Worski will contract HIV first? JF, are there any evolutionary advantages from families raised by single fathers opposed to families raised by single mothers? That's a very good question. You guys want to give a take really quick?
Are there any advantages?
To kids raised by single fathers versus kids raised by single mothers?
I think it literally depends on your income level. So how much you can basically, subsidize not having the other parent there. So let's say you're a single mother, but from a very wealthy household.
I want to be on camera.
If you're a single mother from I look like a fucking mess. I look like I just got out of like a hurricane. Oh, it's so cute. You have notes.
I had notes.
Yeah.
So
It's worthless now.
But yeah, like you can afford to put your child in like more extracurriculars where they can find like another father figure or like a coach or something that can like be there for them. Like that's a lot easier to do.
My thought was that this is going to sound, women tend to live more in the middle, men tend to live more in the extreme. So I think a single motherhood is not going to be as good as like two-parent household. Single motherhood would be better than some single, like
single
a good
parent,
portion of single fathers, but then would be worse in a different portion of single fathers.
I
Like,
can see
you
that
know what I
logic.
mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay, leaving a mentally disabled woman in the woods. Yeah, I was gonna get to that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. She dies. Maybe she was. Yes. Are you worried about that, JF? I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I tried my best. What gas station EG shell was dropped off? I'm sorry. These are really good questions, and I was gonna get to a lot of these. I'm sorry.
He rage quit.
JF,
You know, this makes me feel like he's actually like really guilty.
Yes.
Like before, I was like not like 100% certain, but the fact that he ran away from you like this.
And got so offended about the text message question. I shouldn't have to prove anything. What are you talking about? Like, people are willing to provide receipts for way less egregious accusations, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? If you could do something to clear the air a little, why would you not want to do that?
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Oh wait, hold on. I skipped one. JF, can you quote Jack Nichol's character from the line courtroom scene in the movie A Few Good Men? You can't handle the truth. Okay. JF, given that you were a close business partner of, I'm sorry, I swear to God, I was going to get to a lot of these. I'm really sorry that I disappointed all of you guys. I feel really bad.
Do you think he's still watching? Or do you think he just left?
I'm sorry, guys. I think I was too intense on the kids question, but I thought that was like
It is a good question. These are all very good questions, and he just couldn't handle it because
and I
he's
didn't
probably
press
guilty.
too hard on anything. Like,
No.
if there was any question I didn't want him to, if he felt uncomfortable, I'd ask maybe twice and then I'd move on.
Yeah, no, he's so fucking guilty, man. Like, while he ran, he got nervous.
JF couldn't handle the truth.
No.
Can you say it? Can you scream it to the camera?
Okay, I'll do it just for you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna take off my glasses. JF couldn't handle the truth.
That's
I'm just trying to do it like you.
Love it. Okay. Peanut for brains, Lauren. Oh, sad. I tried my best. No, I didn't. I try to ask about committing, like, she didn't seem to be the type to commit a crime. This is a crime. I wasn't asking about the kids. I was asking about
Her character.
Yeah, like, she doesn't seem like the type to commit a crime that would affect people.
Yeah.
That's a crime that would affect people. Who is the girl with a sexy Aussie accent?
They're calling for you, Amy.
Hmm?
The audience wants to know.
Hi.
Who's the girl with the sexy?
She's probably an Aussie. Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of.
stole her
People
from
call me fake Australian nowadays. It's my accent. They think I'm faking my accent or faking the American one. Either way.
What's your American accent?
I don't have one, but apparently my Australian is not sufficient anymore.
I hear it. I think you're a fraud.
Sorry guys, sorry to disappoint.
Oh, look, someone likes you. Okay, did you respect the rule or not? The no kids rule? Yeah, I didn't ask him any specifics about his kids, about their ages, about where they went to school, about who their parent, like, I didn't ask their names. I didn't ask anything about the kids. I asked about her committing crimes and him living alone and
He ran. What's his name again? His full name?
I can't pronounce it. I don't know. I'm gonna unfollow him on Twitter.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was mean. He came on straight for the bikini shit.
I'm so curious about all of this, like the backstory now, though. I'm gonna look into it tonight.
You could come back on, man. Hold on.
Oh, is he saying to come back on?
Hold on, my phone died. Let me message him. I'm gonna try to get him back on.
He's not going to come back on because he's obviously
to the
guilty.
internet? I don't know if he's obviously guilty. Maybe he's innocent.
I don't think anybody who's innocent would run
You know
so
what?
hard.
Innocent until proven guilty. And I think that he might be innocent. So maybe he should give me another chance
I don't know.
to interview
I
him.
think this is wrong. What is it? I don't know. He would have to come back and be pretty convincing because like leaving like that just looks really, really bad.
People are so mad. You broke your promise to him. I swear I didn't mean to.
You
Will you
never-
invite him back with Mama J? Fuck yeah, I would. Fuck yeah, I would. Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? It'd be great. I hope he does. That went really poorly. Unblocked. Amy, can you text him for me?
He blocked you?
I'm sure he follows you already. If he likes girls based off their profile follows girls based off their profile pictures.
You want to message him off my account?
No, you just like be like,
What's his name again?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like impossible to pronounce. I'll pull it up. It's in my title.
What is this dude's name?
Jean-Francois Gariepy.
Jean-Francois Gariepy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, why did you leave?
Apparently he's still watching. Yeah, of course. I just want to find out the truth. I don't know if he's guilty or not.
I don't know. I think he would have to make a pretty convincing case coming back because like the way he left, I'm just saying, left like a guilty man.
Someone's saying, hey, cute blonde girl. You lost your cool and failed. I did? I don't remember losing my cool. The thing is, like, I think he misunderstood me when I was asking that question because I was like the crime and he thought I was accusing him of committing the crime of murder and I wasn't. And like as somebody who has represented people, so I was a public defender briefly on a limited license in Arizona. And when I did that, I had some cases where people sound, okay, listen to this case. I had this woman, right? They hand me the case and she's like, she literally stabbed her son.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then they showed me the pictures and like there's just like blood like trickling down his face and it's a kid and it's like, oh fuck. And I'm like, so I call her and I'm like, okay, here's the plea deal. Like you're gonna sign it, right? She goes, no, I'm innocent. I'm like, excuse you? Like, how are you in it? Like, you literally had like the weapon in your hands. You had blood on you. You had his blood on you. Like, how are you fled the scene? You were caught like a block away by the cops. Like, how are you innocent? Okay, here's the story. She's like, I think she had a legitimate case of self-defense where she had gotten impregnated as like a young teenager, like not even like 16 or 17. And she had this kid and then he became an adult. And then when he became an adult, like she didn't even have contact with him throughout his life. His dad raised him.
Mm-hmm.
And then his dad died. And then his grandpa couldn't keep him because he was so violent and like rageous. And then like he would do these wild parties and he was just like a troubled kid and all of this stuff. And so then he got sent to her. And at this point now she's like an adult with young children.
Right.
And she like can't, and she's now a single mom. And this kid starts beating on her all of the time. And then one time she defends herself with a fork. And then
That's enough.
and then yeah, she got locked up. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting. But so I thought she was innocent. So there are plenty of times where it seems guilty,
Mm-hmm.
but in the end, the person is innocent. You don't know the full story. So I really would love to give him the benefit of the doubt and have him back on. But I think he took me wrong. I think we got off on the wrong foot.
I got nervous. You put him on the line.
How did you expect that to be taken?
Will you invite him back when Mama J shows up? Invite Mama J F on, grab a Ouija board. Ethan Ralph, ex-pro on Rumble streamer, and Tina Casino Kick streamers are stream sniping. Either one might have you on the post. Time to flash!
Oh God.
Just kidding. That would ruin my stream, unfortunately. But fuck you for sniping. Your friend with glasses is just an angry feminist.
Yeah, you got me. It's the angriest. I fall into like fits of rage in this apartment. It's really scary.
Facts.
I love it.
Pixie is my queen and my piece. Okay. All right. I'm sniping. Stop sniping. Don't snipe me. What the fuck? Sniper, no sniping. Like, what the fuck? Okay, y'all. I see Amy is preparing my meal for me. So I'm gonna go light that up. Have a good one.
Bye.
Wait, check if he's messaged you.
He blocked me. There's no way.
Wait, I messaged him.
Wait, hold on. We'll wait for Amy. Give it a second.
No.
Nar. Okay, with that, peace.
Bye.
Sargent and one other are called Advanced Methods in Economics Using Python, 2-volume set. It's about close to 2,000 pages, and 4 of those pages are on differential equations. The rest is all difference equations. So they're using entirely the wrong mathematics to start with.
For people listening, what is difference equations versus differential?
Okay, a
equations?
difference equation is like you can do in a spreadsheet. You'll have, this is the value for 1990, this is the value for 1991, 92, 93, 94. So you have discrete jumps in time. Whereas the differential equation says there's a process moving through time, and you will have a rate of change of a variable is a function of the state of itself and other variables and rates of change of those variables. And that is what you use when you're doing an aggregate model. So if you're modeling water, for example, or fluid dynamics, you have a set of differential equations describing the entire body of fluid moving through time. You don't try to model the discrete motion of each molecule of H2O. So at the aggregate level, you use differential equations for processes that occur through time. And that's economics. It occurs through time. You should be using that particular technology. But some economists do learn differential equations, but they don't learn stability analysis. So they simply assume equilibrium is stable, and they work in equilibrium terms all the time. And that it is the technical level. It's an incredibly complicated way of modeling the world using entirely the wrong tools.
Okay, we'll talk about that because it's unclear what the right tools are.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more clear to you, but
I've got to make it clear to an audience.
well, so this is a very complicated world. It's a complex world. You talk about some of the most complex systems on Earth are the human mind, the economy, and the biosphere.
Yep.
So we'll go. We'll go to that place. I'm fascinated by complex systems. I'm humbled by them, even at their simplest level of like cellular automata. I'm not sure what the right tools are to understand that, especially when part of the complex system is like a hierarchy of other complex systems.
Yep.
So you said the economy is a fascinating complex system, but it's made up of human minds, and those are interesting. Those are interesting, perhaps impossible to model, but we can try to figure out how to approximate them, and maybe that's the challenge of economics. Okay, we'll keep returning to the basics. Let us try to learn something from history. I also see as part of economics is us trying to figure out stuff, and there's a few smart folks that write books throughout human history, and sometimes they name schools of economics after them. So let us take a stroll through history.
Okay.
Can you describe at a high level what are the different schools of economics, perhaps ones that are interesting to you, perhaps ones that the difference between which reveal something useful or insightful for our conversation?
Okay.
So, you could, classical, post-Keynesian, Austrian, I like the biophysical economics and so on, other heterodox economic schools that you find interesting.
Okay. I actually find interesting a school which went extinct about 250 years ago. That's where I'd like to start from. And they're called the physiocrats. And the name itself implies where their knowledge came from, because if you go back far enough in history, we didn't do autopsies. But when you started doing autopsies, they found wires, they found tubes, etc., etc., and they started seeing the body as a circulation system, and they applied the same sort of logic to the economy. And they came out of an agricultural economy, which was France, and they saw that the wealth came effectively from the sun. So they saw all wealth comes from, they said the soil, but what they really mean is the soil absorbs the energy of the sun. One seed plants, 1,000 flea seeds come back. There is no surplus. We are simply mining what we can find out of the natural economy. That's where we should have stayed and developed from that forward. We then went through the classical school of economics, which comes out of Adam Smith. And Smith, coming from Scotland, looked at what the physiocrats said, and what the physiocrats argued was that agriculture is the source of all wealth, and the manufacturing sector is sterile. That's literally the term they use to describe the manufacturing sector.
What does sterile mean?
Sterile means you don't extract value. You simply change the shape of value.
So the value comes from the soil.
The value comes from the soil. That's the free gift of nature. That's literally the phrase they used. And we then distribute the free gift of nature around, and we need carriages, which was the manufacturing term they used at the time, as well as wheat. So to make the carriages, we take what's been taken from the soil and we convert it to a different form, but there is no value added in manufacturing.
Yeah.
So Smith looked at that and said, well, I'm from Scotland, and we've got these
Easy now.
industries, and we make stuff and it's machinery. And he said, no, it's not land that gives us the source of value, it's labor.
Yeah.
Now, that led to the classical school of thought, and that said that all value comes from labor, that value is objective, so it's the amount of effort you put in, that the price two things will exchange for reflects the relative effort that's involved in the manufacturing. So this computer takes 2 hours to make, and this bottle takes 2 minutes to make, then this is worth 60 times as much as that. Okay, they didn't talk about marginal cost. It was absolute cost, effectively. They didn't talk about utility as a subjective thing. They ridiculed subjective utility theory. That led to Marx. And Marx is probably the most brilliant mind in the history of economics. The only other competitor I'd see is Schumpeter, possibly Keynes. But in my terms of ranking of intellects, it would be Marx, Schumpeter, Keynes in terms of the outstanding capacities to think. But Marx then turned that classical school, which was pro-capitalism and anti-feudal, into a critique of capitalism, which led to the neoclassical school coming along as a defense of capitalism. But they defended it using the ideas of the subjective theory of value, so that value does not reflect effort, it's the satisfaction individuals get from different objects that determines their value, marginal utility. It's the marginal cost that determines how much they sell for. Capitalism equilibrates marginal cost and marginal utility. And the concepts of equilibrium and marginal this and marginal that became the neoclassical school. And that's still the dominant school now 150 years later. So that's the one that everybody learns. And when you first learn economics, if you don't have the critical background that I managed to acquire, that's what you think is economics. The marginal utility, equilibrium oriented analysis of mainstream economics. And for example, they ignore money. Okay? People think economists, you must be an expert on money because you're an economist. Well, in fact, economists learn literally in the first few weeks at university that money is irrelevant. They say money illusion. So they represent people's tastes using what they call indifference curves. And they're like isoquants on a weather map. If you look at an isoquant, it shows you all the points of the same pressure. So you can be here or you can be in Denver, and the air pressure can be the same if you're in the same weather unit. So you just draw a cell that links together. Well, they do the same thing with utility and say lots of bananas and very few coconuts can give you the same utility as lots of coconuts and very few bananas. And you draw basically a hyperbola running down and linking the two. And they'll say, well, that's your utility. That describes your tastes. And then we have your income. And given your income, you can buy that many bananas completely, or that many coconuts, or a straight line combination of the two. And then if we double the nominal price of coconuts and double the nominal price of bananas and double your income, what happens? And the correct answer is, oh, nothing, sir. You stay at the same point of tangency between what your budget is and which particular utility curve gives you the maximum satisfaction. So that gets ingrained into them, and they think anybody who worries about money suffers from money illusion. You are therefore ignorant of the deep insights of economics if you think money actually matters. So you have an entire theory of economics which presumes we exchange through barter. Like I'll swap you that Microsoft Surface for, actually I'll take 2 of those for one of these. We do this bartering type arrangement. In fact, that only works if money plays no creative role in the economy. And that's where you'll find, reading Schumpeter, the insight that's the school of thought that I come from, that says money is essential. Money actually adds to demand, and we'll talk about that later on. So that's the neoclassical school that ends up being subjective theory of value, non-monetary, as though everything happens in barter, and focusing on equilibrium, as though everything happens in equilibrium. Or if you get disturbed from equilibrium, you return back to it again. And that mindset describes capitalism. Its most interesting feature is that it reaches equilibrium. Now, what planet are we on to believe that?